Hi, my name is Nancy Finston, and I've been a member of AAUW Marin for 45 years. I'll be talking with you today about how to make a difference. One of the benefits of preparing a talk like this is that I get to ponder something that I've been thinking a lot about lately. How can I make a difference at my age in 2024? At the end, I'll be asking you how you can make a difference in your own life, how you can make a difference in your community, and how you can make a difference in the world. Let's begin. How do you make a difference in your own life? I spent some time with the infamous AAUW Marin history box, which is where I found some of the pieces of history you've been seeing here. And I also found some wonderful inspiration from our past. The Marin Branch of AAUW was established in 1932, a mere 92 years ago. Here's a picture of our branch's founding mothers celebrating the 30th anniversary of the branch. Nowadays, it's well established how important social ties and mental stimulation are for healthy adults, particularly as we age. Our founding mothers must have known this intuitively, for establishing strong social ties through interest groups and educational meetings have formed the backbone of AAUW Marin from the very beginning. Teas were the name of the game back then. In the history box, there were newspaper clippings galore announcing yet another AAUW Marin tea. In fact, the very first social event our branch had was a membership tea. That year, they also had a formal dance, a bridge luncheon at the Meadow Club, and a family picnic. They took intellectual stimulation quite seriously. The following year, they offered a course on California law as it affects women, visited a local courtroom to observe legal procedures, and established early interest groups, including a cooperative nursery group and a group that investigated community needs and then worked with the community to fill those needs. Their education section offered a course on essentials of taxation, and there was a literature, arts, and music group. They listened to numerous outside speakers, including the Dean of Women at Stanford, an art scholar from Berkeley speaking on trends in modern art, and a doctor who spoke on the history of anesthesia, complete with numerous slides. These women were no slouches. Interest groups and educational meetings have always been staples for AAUW Marin, and over the years have included current events, language groups, and groups for music, museum visits, travel, bridge and other games, and multiple reading groups. Currently, we have 14 very active interest groups. These include Happy Hour, Meet Me at the Movies, Mahjong, several book groups, a hiking group, and a dinner group that meets at the Homeward Bound Chef events in Nevada. In 1976, when members were celebrating our 45th year, they wrote, "Close associations and friendships hold the members together. Action will follow involvement with people." And that has held true for our entire history. Fundraising, then using the amounts raised to help women and our community, has always been our priority. AAUW members have participated in all sorts of fundraising over the years, from fashion shows to writing and presenting plays to bake sales. In recent years, we found that our Christmas party with its silent auction is our main local fundraiser, followed by direct requests to our Marin community. For example, in 2023, we applied for and received a $5,000 grant from the independent journal's Giving Marin, which will go towards our Tech Talk program. Helping our community. The ways we have helped our community has varied. Year after year, we have given scholarships and grants, but we've helped in a plethora of other ways. In the past, we funded playgrounds for local parks and established childcare co-ops. We put on can-do days for teenage girls and created and supported a community barter network, Network Marin for members in business, and partnered in the creation and annual awards dinner of the Marin Women's Hall of Fame. Our current focus is on giving scholarships and grants to College of Marin and Dominican University students and on sending middle school girls to Tech Trek, our STEM summer camp, while also sending university women to AAUW Student Leadership Program and supporting GovTrek, a program for girls interested in public service and elected office. In addition, year after year, we have advocated politically for women in our community and our state. Just recently, a number of our members met with California legislative representatives via Zoom to advocate for 3 priority bills during AAUW's lobby days. National AAUW. So all year long, we feed our friendships and our minds through social activities and interest groups. In the fall, we focus on fundraising to help our local community. In the spring, we raise money for our national organization, the AAUW Fund. AAUW was founded in 1881 by Marin Talbot, who served as Dean of Women at the University of Chicago for 30 years. Marin was an influential leader in the higher education of women in the United States during the early 20th century. During her long career at the University of Chicago and throughout her entire career, Talbot fought tenaciously and often successfully to improve support for women, students, and faculty, and against efforts to restrict equal access to educational opportunities. Here's a picture of Marin surrounded by other early AAUW members from a booklet about the early days of AAUW entitled Founding Mothers, Young Women Determined to Change the World for Women and Girls. I believe we should all honor these women who founded an organization that in its 143 years of existence has made a huge difference in the lives of women in the United States and around the world. They did this through research about women's issues, advocating for women politically, and by funding education for women. Research. AAUW has published hundreds of research projects. The first was published in 1885. It disproved a prevailing myth that college impairs a woman's fertility. In 2024, current research projects include Deeper in Debt, Women and Student Loans, the impact of sexual harassment on women's careers, the STEM gap, and of course the never-ending gender pay gap. Advocacy. Beginning in 1915, AAUW fought for the right for women to vote. They wrote, "Be it resolved that we, as a body of college women dedicated to the promotion of education and desirous of furthering our ability for usefulness, favor suffrage for women." Subsequent AAUW advocacy efforts have propelled countless new laws, including the familiar Equal Pay Act, Title IX, the Family and Medical Leave Act, and the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. AAUW is currently advocating for the passage of the Paycheck Fairness Act, which would make it illegal for employers to pay women less than men if doing essentially the same work. Today, the need to continue our advocacy is even more important as women's rights to control their own bodies is again threatened. And just a reminder, in case you have forgotten, according to our Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal, but until the Equal Rights Amendment or its equivalent passes, women are not constitutionally, not legally equal to men in the United States of America. Education. From the very beginning, our founders gave scholarships to women. Their goal? To enable gifted women to use their intellectual powers for the good of humanity. After asking members to contribute $1 per year, the first scholarship was awarded to Ida Street, a pioneer in the field of American Indian history, in the amount of $350. Cumulatively, over $135 million has been given to over 13,000 women and nonprofit organizations around the world. Last year alone, 320 fellowships and grants were given, amounting to over $6 million. Year after year, AAUW has planted seeds for the long-term lasting change for the status of women. Its efforts have contributed mightily to the decade-by-decade changes that have occurred in women's rights over the last century and a half. Historic changes in AAUW's bylaws. Over its existence, AAUW has stayed the same in an astonishing number of ways. The interest groups and monthly meetings, the fundraising, the focus on advocating for and educating women. But I need to talk a bit about one way we have changed, our membership requirements. Initially, membership required at least a master's degree from an AAUW-approved university. All members were women and white. But this changed as members recognized the need for change. Over the years, women with bachelor's degrees were allowed. Then women were allowed from any accredited university. Women of color were allowed to become members. Men with degrees were allowed in after the ERA failed to pass, as long as they supported our key goals. More recently, the education requirement was reduced to an associate degree. Now we are currently voting to eliminate the degree requirement altogether and to open membership to all people who support our mission. And what is our mission again? Well, it hasn't basically changed in 143 years. To advance gender equity for women and girls through research, education, and advocacy. I personally believe that this change is long overdue if we are to maximize AAUW's impact in the future. I urge all of you to approve this bylaw change. I started by asking, how do you make a difference? I challenge you today to choose to make a difference in several ways. Make a difference for yourself by engaging in more fun educational activities. Find a member you don't know well and invite them to coffee or lunch or tea, or join a new interest group. If you have an interest that's not represented, you can start one. To make a difference in your community, get involved with our local fundraising. Ask about how you can help with Tech Track. Find out about helping with the scholarship fund, or participate in our local lobbying efforts. If you want to maximize AAUW's future impact, vote to eliminate the educational requirement for AAUW membership. And finally, to make a difference in our world, donate to the National AAUW Fund. The torch has been passed to us. We continue the battles begun by our founding mother suffragettes so long ago. Together we can continue to make a difference, and together we can change the world. Now, just for fun, a poem. Ocular Illusion by Eva M. Bradway is printed in one of AAUW Marin's poetry booklets published in the early 1960s. Now, lovely ladies, be advised, it's not your waist nor hips, your size, not the way you wear your clothes, not the twisted seams and hose, not the shoes that look like scows, nor the furrows in your brows, not the problems you have faced, not by these are you disgraced. It's the horrid two-lens glasses, shorty, that tell the world you're over 40. Just wanted to see if you were paying attention. Some things apparently have changed a little bit over the past few years.